Hello, my name's Tallulah Breeze. I'll be doing a presentation on poverty in the United Kingdom. Poverty in the United Kingdom has many different meanings. Absolute poverty is defined as lack of sufficient net resources. Absolute poverty comes in when a person becomes below a certain level, when they cannot provide for themselves. This includes water, food, shelter, and basic needs for life. Absolute poverty is measured by income levels. The income threshold is below 60%. In 2023-24, approximately 3.9 million children in the United Kingdom were living in absolute poverty after housing costs were considered, with a further 6.9 million working age adults living in the situation. 1.6 million pensioners and 5.4 million families where someone is disabled. Relative poverty is defined as a category that shows people are not living in total poverty. These statistics are that they will receive less than 50% household income. Relative poverty can be permanent, meaning that people in this statistic will never know what it means to be enjoying life like everyone else in the country. Relative poverty is used to describe when people who are living in poverty have in the main basics such as adequate diet or somewhere to live. What these people lack in sufficient income to be able to participate fully in society. People in poverty are under relative poverty as the government decides whether they can scrape by for daily needs. Households relative poverty are earning 60% of a median range. There are no adjustments made for people who have disabilities who are caring for a loved one. How poverty has changed in the UK. Poverty has always been difficult throughout history. It was a common outcome in ancient societies due to three factors: resources, inequalities, and lack of social nets. These evolved by urbanisation, industrialisation, and economic system changes. The 18th century saw rapid changes during the Industrial Revolution, leading to significant changes in economic and societies. This also caused harsh working environments. Welfare programs started in the 20th century aimed to improve the standards, alleviated poverty. Poverty was focused during the mid-20th century. 13.5 million people still live in poverty in the United Kingdom. Estimations of poverty are actually lower, as many people don't think they live in poverty, so they don't think their status contributes to these percentages. Poverty in children has been in the rise since 2011, since the government's investment of creating universal credit, replacing 6 benefits just one monthly payment of. By doing this, there is a rise in people using food banks and sleeping rough on the streets. Different methods of measuring poverty. There are many different ways in measuring poverty, and Rowan Cherry produced methods of measuring poverty by which they were able to show that its true extent was greater than had been assumed. Their research also led them to conclude that the causes of poverty were low wages, illness, unemployment, and old age rather than moral weakness. Their findings were influential on the generations politicians and who had begun to consider that self-improvement and social mobility were being hampered by the size of the household incomes, including tax, wages and benefits. Persistent poverty is when a household being below the threshold over 3 years. Poverty means a lot of different things to people, which is why there are so many different ways of measuring poverty in the UK. By using absolute and relative incomes into consideration, they use statistics to find out the poverty line, which helps them determine the poverty levels over time. To measure whether people are in absolute poverty or relative poverty, they construct thresholds and collate data to calculate the UK. The 2024 report is now available. It used data from a variety of sources, including Understand Society, which is used to measure persistent poverty over time. Thank you for watching my presentation of poverty in the United Kingdom.